Hi, my name's Aubree. I am an inventor and I love beauty products and I love interior design and I love inventing. This is my favorite lip combo right now. Do you have a favorite right now? Mine is the Road lip liner in Press and the Augustina Spatter in shade 1. Very pretty. And I'm happy to be here. So I already talked about this a little on Substack, but a little bit more here. So this week talking about kind of the shift I've had in my life recently. So as an inventor, I have always been super aware of products, but I would say in the last several years, like 3-ish years, 4-ish years, I've had like a really big shift on realizing what's in those products, what I'm putting in my house, what I'm putting on my body, what is going on my body that then gets like hugged and kissed onto my little sweet kids' bodies. And this is a little bit more about what I kept and what I have changed. And with the note that everything is always changing, I am learning more every day, and this is where I'm at the moment. So I have a couple questions here, and I've talked about this in the comments a little bit, but just a little bit more. Quick note is I actually have been using AI to help make these question prompts. So I think AI is interesting. I was originally very opposed to using it, just, I don't know, didn't feel right. But then I also think it's kind of like the internet, like when the internet came about, some people wanted to use it, some people didn't, but then it's around. And so I kind of feel like that about AI right now. Like it's not going anywhere. So how can I use it in a way that feels appropriate and tasteful and honest and helpful without feeling forced? I don't like that feeling. So AI came up with these question prompts based off of a lot of information that I have shared in my little chat GPT conversation about the brand that I'm building, the products that I'm making right now, the products that I want to make in the future, my personal tastes and philosophy around the brand, and kind of just a giant brain dump. And then with that came about with 4 weeks of YouTube video prompts. And then all of the responses are completely my own. But you can see right here, kind of excited. I came on week 4. But so this is what I'm talking through today. That's all that AI gave me. And the rest is my own brain. So what I kept and what I changed. And the first question is, what objects did you keep even after changing your habits? And I think I kind of said this on Substack too, but this could go one of 2 ways. There are the objects that I kept that I brought in that I liked. So there are like my olive oil. I actually talked about this olive oil right here. This one I actually already had, but this olive oil I love from like a product standpoint. The bottle, I love ribbed glass. You see that? It's so pretty. I like the weight of it. It's heavy. I like the product inside. It's good olive oil. When you read the ingredients, organic, extra virgin olive oil. Interesting, from Dallas, Texas, not from Italy, even though it makes it kind of feel like it is, which is interesting. I can't remember if I've looked at that or not, but I still like it. So this is one thing that I actually used prior with others, but it's something that I kind of keep coming back to and actually keep refilling. So one time I bought olive oil from Costco, and it was in a pretty metal tin, and it was organic, cold pressed, all the things. And I was really excited to try it. And when I got it home, the packaging was terrible. And the product is fine. I feel like I can tell really bad olive oil, but I can't tell the difference between good olive oils. But the packaging was terrible, and I actually used that product and refilled it in some of these old bottles because I just like them. Like, they're that good. They work good. They feel good. I like it enough. I wanted to refill it. And I think refillable, tangent, is an interesting concept. I think refillable in beauty is very trendy right now. Like, even the top perfume brands are using refillable concepts, but I think something has to be really good to be refillable. Like that olive oil bottle, I want to use because I like the experience of using it. But what objects did I keep even after changing my habit? So that olive oil is one that I kept that I had around prior. There's others that I've been using. I think there's some that I've kept that I brought in because of my habits changing. One example would be Branch Basics. So I like the product. I have learned a lot from their blog. They have a lot of information on there that I have found super helpful in trying to remove fragrance from my home and from my life. So that is a huge resource that I'm thankful for. This is one thing that I brought in that I don't plan to change anytime soon. I really like it. One thing though, I did not like their dish soap. So I brought in their dish soap and their countertop cleaners, their concentrate, which you use for a lot of different things, but I didn't keep their dish soap. I just didn't like the foam dish soap. I didn't like the way it worked. And so something I brought in, I have the countertop cleaner down there for it too. Something I brought in because I didn't like the Branch Basics was this Koala Eco, let's see, dish soap and hand wash. But what's interesting, it does not have the word fragrance in the label, which I appreciate, but it does have a scent to it. Let's find the ingredients. So it has lemon myrtle essential oil, mandarin essential oil, so different things in it that smell and have a natural fragrance to them, but the word fragrance is not found anywhere. And personally, Branch Basics is lovely. I like the glass, but their aesthetic, I would say, is not my most favorite. It's more cleaning company, less home-y interior design-esque, and I love these bottles. From an aesthetic standpoint, my grandma used to always have old botanical prints in her house. She still does, I think, and I love them, so this was special. And I also love a squeeze top dish soap. So this is something that I originally had brought in Branch Basics, didn't love it, used it till it was gone because it feels good to finish things. Another tangent, but that is something I actually have learned through this. You either need to be able to, this is my own, to myself, what I tell myself, I either need to be able to use it up and finish it, or it needs to go. But if I don't like it enough to finish it, then it does not need to live under my counter. And I actually have a few things under there I probably should get rid of. But when I cleaned out my beauty cabinet for fragrance, that was one thing I noticed, that I had a lot of stuff down there that had value to it, like a lotion or a hair product, but I didn't use it. I didn't like it, but I didn't want to let go of it because of the value of that product, the money I spent on it. And I don't think that is a good enough reason to keep something. And I also don't think you need something new if you have something you like. So for an example, my mascara, I love my mascara. And there's other ones that I might like to try, but I try really hard to have self-control and not buy a new one until I finish my existing one, which sounds obvious, but it's not how I used to operate. When I first got out of college and had my first job and was making money and was able to buy things, I love shopping at Sephora and I love trying new things, which is fun, but it also becomes overwhelming when you have 6 mascaras and you can't even use them by the time they are expired, which expiration dates I always feel like are, you can push, but you don't need 6 mascaras. You need maybe 1, maybe 2, but very much a circle there. What objects did you keep even after changing your habits? I kept some, like I mentioned, that I'd already had. There were some that I tried and kept, like the Branch Basics countertop cleaner. Some that I tried, didn't like, and then replaced, like the Koala Eco dish soap for my Branch Basics dish soap. And then another category within that too, objects did you keep even after changing your habits? There are some things that I have kept that I have not swapped out yet and would like to, but have not been able to find something that is good enough to replace it. So one example of that would be my self tanner. I like to be tan. Sometimes, not all the time, and not too tan, but I have used the Luxe Unfiltered Tanner for quite a while, and I like the product and the payoff, but I do not like that fragrance is on the label, but then I don't even like the scent anymore, which is interesting because I think their branding, their marketing, everything is lovely, and their niche is luxury scents, fragrances for self-tanner, and I don't want a scent. I've actually asked, I've emailed them, like, will you make unscented? So maybe someday we'll see if it ever comes out. I've also tried Salty Face, which does have an unscented option, but I didn't love it. I don't like a foam, I like a cream, just a personal preference. But that's an example of one thing that I kept, even though I've changed my habits. I don't want to trade it out if it's not good enough. Like, I want fragrance free, but I also don't want products that don't work well. So that's something that I've been learning and kind of leaning into, is what can actually fill the void. Like, I loved the Aubree shampoo and conditioner from a packaging standpoint. I know it's not the most recyclable, things like that, but it is luxurious and beautiful to use and a lovely experience. The product is great. It's thick. I learned this from my hairdresser the other day. There's no water in it, which is why it's thick. It's a beautiful product, but it's full of fragrance and other ingredients I really don't want to use. So I have been trying unscented shampoos, and man, it is tough times in the unscented shampoo category. Like if Aubree could make something hair cleaner and unscented, I think it would do well. I would buy it at least. But I've tried, I feel like the best, nap time. Okay, I'll finish up. The best I've tried so far is Karina Organics, but the packaging definitely leaves something to be desired. But the product was pretty good, so that has been my favorite so far. Little man saying, time to get up. Okay, I'll do speedy. Okay, what did you remove or redesign? I removed a lot of things. I'd actually have to kind of sit down and write the list of all the things I removed because there were a lot. Anything that was touching me or my family's skin, anything we were breathing. I'm sure there's many things I haven't touched, but all touch points, from cosmetics to cleaning to food to candles. See my pretty beeswax candles over there? Those are beeswax. Fun fact, luxury beeswax, not paraffin filled with fragrance. Something I have loved refilling, which is a high bar. To refill something, you have to really love it. At least I do. But what did I remove or redesign? I should have read that first. That is such a hard question because I feel like I've removed so many things in my house. And I think there's a balance of, it can be overwhelming, the amount of things that are full of junk that we're living in that could be affecting my sun skin, could be affecting my sinus headaches. And you got to start where you can, do what you can. And I think beauty products, makeup, cleaning products, candles, those are where I started. And clothes in general, like thinking about what clothing you're wearing, your sheets, things like that, are important. How do you decide what stays versus what goes? So I did talk about this a little bit already. If the ingredients are bad, if it's not good for you, it really does need to go. But I am not fully in that camp enough to get rid of things and use something that's, I think, isn't great. So that kind of has been something that has been interesting for me, is that push and pull of, as someone who loves product, I love luxury beauty, I appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into these products that people design. And I feel like often the unscented, the fragrance-free versions just aren't as good, not as fun. And I want to change that, so I'm working on it. And what are you experimenting with now? So those candles, like I mentioned back there, refilling something I love. That's kind of like a little test. It's like a little test to see if anybody out there like me loves candles, but is conscious of what they're putting in their home and burning and breathing. But that's like a tiny little test. I've been working on a body buttercream that's beautiful. And I like to say, when I look at something, I look at it from an interior design lens, no matter what category. So when I invent a garden hose, I think about it from an interior design standpoint. I don't know if I can see it. Like we made an unlacquered brass garden hose, like my waterworks faucet. I look at beauty products. You live in your home, at least personally I do, 99% of the time. The beauty products I want to look beautiful in my home, not on the go, not in an airplane, not on a retail shelf. They're designed for my countertops. So that is something I've been really leaning into from an aesthetic standpoint in beauty. And also when I live my life in general, I feel like I have learned a lot from this homesteading lifestyle. I am a stay-at-home mom. I do like to make sourdough bread. I have a garden out there, but I also like reading. Well, actually, I read Southern Living right now, but I used to love reading like Lucky Magazine and Style Magazine, following along with Little Man. Okay. I'm gonna end it here, but experimenting with between homestead and high rise, that's what I was getting at. I love the trends, not trends, but I love the design eye that comes out of New York and LA and London and Paris, and these places that have these beautiful tastes, honestly. And then I also appreciate the homesteading lifestyle of things being homemade and simple and good for you. And I feel like I live kind of in the middle, and that is what I'm experimenting with right now, is that meeting point of luxury intentionally tastefully designed, chic things and good ingredients that are good for my body, good for me, and how can those things meet in the middle? Because I, excuse me, want a little more luxury in my fragrance-free home. So let me know if you do too.